Hello everyone. Welcome back to another section of Capital Market. Today we are going to learn about government securities. We should be knowing that we have reached the second module, and in this module we will be dealing with the different types of capital market instruments. As we have seen already, the difference between equities and bonds, you must be having a rough idea about what shares are and what bonds are. The other capital market instruments include government securities, mutual funds, debentures, and foreign bonds. So today we are going to learn about government securities. So what are government securities? I'll come to the picture. Before that, we will see what is the definition. So government securities are long-term securities, right? And they carry interest rate. So the interest rate can be either fixed or floating, which means that it can be fixed as well as it can be flexible. The interest rate may go up and go down in case you are opting for a floating bond. Okay, in case you are opting for a bond which carries floating coupon rates. And another thing is we are paying for the government securities on its face value. Okay, on its face value, and they will be paying back, the amount will be given back to us during the maturity period, after the maturity periods are over. So let us see this bond. Here it is given that the cost of this bond paper, this bond is 100 rupees. Okay, and the sum assured is after a period of 5 years. Okay, uh, after a period of expiry of a period of 5 years from now, from the date of the sale, the amount which is promised is 110 rupees. So after a period of 5 years, instead of 100 rupees, uh, you can get 110 rupees. Okay, but it is given here that no other interest will be payable on the bond. There will not be any other interest, but there will be only sum assured after the maturity period, which includes the interest rate. The interest rate is given only at the end of the maturity date, but not in between. Okay, so that is a peculiarity of this kind of bond. But it's also given here that even though no other interest will be payable on the bond, but prices to be determined by lottery in the manner indicated on the reverse. Okay, so there will be some lottery prizes for all the bond holders in between, but other than that, there won't be any um, interest rate. The interest rate is paid only at the end of the maturity period. Now, this amount is known as the face value. This is the face value. Okay, face value is what is given on its face. Okay, and it is said that the government securities are issued at face value. That is, they are issued at the value which is written over it, and the coupon or interest rate is fixed at the time of the issuance itself, right? And the remains and it remained constant till the maturity date, till it is redempted, or till it is uh, uh, till it is returned back to the issuer. Okay, after the maturity period, it has to be returned back to the issuer. So the tenure of the security is also fixed. That is, time period is fixed, interest rate is fixed, and it also the amount sum assured is also fixed. The interest or coupon payment is made on half yearly basis of its face value. So in most of the cases, it is issued on half yearly basis, the interest rate, the 10 rupees which was promised only after the maturity date is usually broken down into half yearly aspects, so that you will be getting 2 rupees every year. Sorry, 2 rupees, sorry, 1 rupee every 6 months, right? So that is what you mean by half yearly. On every half an year, that is for every 6 months, you will be getting 1 rupee. That is By the end of 5 years, you will be getting 10 rupees. So this is actually broken down. The interest rate is in reality broken down, and that is how it is carried out recent times. The security is redeemed at par or face value on its maturity date. Okay, so that is the 10 rupees which was given here at the end of the 5 years is usually broken down broken down in such a way that you get a small percentage of the interest rate every 6 months. Okay, and then at the during the time of maturity you will be getting back this 100 rupees. You'll be getting back the 100 rupees, which is the face value. This is how usually it is carried out. But as you know, in the year 1963, this was a different scheme. Okay, this was only a different scheme which was issued. This kind of bond was issued in 1963. Now, there are different types of government bonds. Okay, so there is zero coupon bonds, there is capital index bonds, etc. Let us see what zero coupon bonds are. So these bonds are issued at discount to the face value and redeemed at par. These were issued in January 1994 and subsequent years 94, 95, 90, 95, 96, etc. Now this zero coupon bonds has some particular feature. Now that is they are issued at a discount to the face value, which means if the actual bond or if the actual government security that you are buying costs rupees 100. Okay, so let us say, yeah, this is 100 rupees worth bond. But if it is a zero coupon bond, then you will be buying it for 90 rupees instead of 100 rupees. That is, you will be buying it at a discounted rate. So instead of 100 rupees for this government bond, you will be paying only 90 rupees. That is what you mean by zero coupon bonds. And these securities do not carry any coupon or interest rate. So you won't be getting any interest rate in particular, but at the end of the maturity period, you will be getting the face value. That is 100 rupees. So you'll be buying it for 90 rupees, and after 5 years, you will be getting 100 rupees. So that is the peculiarity of zero coupon bonds. They do not carry any coupon or interest rate, but the discounted price and the face value, the difference between the discounted price and the face value is the return. So your the discounted price is 90 rupees and the face value is 100 rupees. So 10 rupees becomes your interest or the return. This is another type of government security, which is known as partly paid stock. Now, partly paid stock is a government bond where the principal amount or the amount with which you are buying can be paid in installments. Okay, you can pay it in installment. Suppose in the earlier case, if you are trying to buy 100 rupees worth bond, you can buy it in installments. You don't have to give all the 100 rupees at once, but you can give it partial. You can give the amount partially over a given period of time. Maybe you will be getting 2 years or 1 years to pay the whole amount. You can pay it in installment. So the advantage is that it meets the need of the investors with regular flow of funds and the need of the government when it does not need fund immediately, right? So you can buy it. You can buy the bond whenever you have the money. So that is one advantage. The investor or the people who are buying the bond has ample time to buy the bond. Second one is the government can also get money whenever it requires. It doesn't have to get all the money and keep it safe, right? The government can get it whenever it wants. So the government also can keep the flow coming. So such kind of stock was issued for the first time on November 15, 1994, and it was for rupees 2,000 crores. These kind of amount usually are in huge lump sum amount. And the key features of these securities are number one, they are issued at face value. That is, the amount will be written on the bond and you have to pay the amount written. That is the face value. But this amount can be paid in installments over a specific period of time. The interest rate is fixed at the time of issuance and it remains constant throughout until the maturity period. The tenure of the security, that is the time period, is also fixed, and the interest rate or coupon payment is made on half yearly basis of its face value. The security is redeemed at the face value, that is what is given on the bond paper on its maturity date. Okay, so you rest everything is the same. You are buying the bond on the face value, and you can redeem it on the face value. In between you will be getting interest rate which is on half yearly basis. The only thing is you can buy the bond paper in installments, right? Now the another type of government security which is known as floating rate bonds. So floating rate bonds, as we discussed earlier, are flexible interest rates. Okay, are the bonds with flexible interest rate, and they do not have fixed interest rate. The coupon is reset at pre-announced intervals, right? Pre-announced intervals, which means the interest rate can be changed from time to time, but it will be announced earlier, 6 months before. So this way, the floating rate bonds will announce the interest rate from time to time, and it keeps increasing or decreasing as per the market rate. So yes, there was usually the basis for on which the floating rate is determined is the 364-day treasury bill auctions. Okay, and such kind of floating rate bonds were issued for the first time in September 1995. The next one is capital index bonds, and the capital index bonds are the bonds whose interest rate is a fixed percentage of the wholesale price index. So this is a kind of bonds where the government of India will fix the percentage of interest rate on the wholesale price index or WPI. That is, it is determined by the inflation rate of the country. So such kind of bonds were floated on December 29, 1997 on TAC basis. That is, for every 5 years of maturity, the coupon rate of 6%. This is the rate of the capital index bond. For 5 years of maturity, it was issued on the year 1997, and the coupon rate or the interest rate was 6% of the WPI, or 6% of the wholesale price index. And wholesale price index is one of the tool in India with which inflation is measured. So this way, the amount which will be given back to the investor is based on the inflation rate. This is the peculiarity of capital indexed bonds. Now let us see what are the advantages of the government securities. Number one, it provides securities as they are issued by the government. It is not issued by a private party, and also there is a fixed sum assured at the end of the maturity period. So it gives you a sense of security, and then there is no risk involved. There is no question of no giving back the amount because it is a legal document given directly by the government. So there is no risk involved, unlike in the case of shares. And then the profit is not taxable, which means when you are buying a bond, the extra return or the amount that you are getting in the form of interest need not be it is not accounted as your taxable income. On the other hand, if you are getting extra interest from fixed deposit, it will be considered as a taxable income and the tax will be reduced, right? But when it comes to bonds, the return from bonds are not taxable. Then fourth one, there is definitely certainty aspect. You know at what time you will be getting the amount. You know what is the actual amount you will be getting, right? So there is certainty and you know how to get it. So these are the advantages of government security over shares. Okay. So in the next class, we will be dealing with uh, mutual funds. So I hope it is clear. Okay. So we have four different types of government securities. This is the definition of government security, and here you also have a picture. Okay. So in case of any doubts or any kind of um, any kind of discussion, you are free to do that as comments below.